6:45. We are in hurricane season, and while homeowners are busy getting prepared, thousands of businesses all along the Gulf Coast are trying to get ready as well.
So exactly what should businesses be doing to prepare? Rick Cavanagh of Crescent Guardian Incorporated, who helps businesses get ready for any emergency, joins us this morning. Good morning, and thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Well, I guess, you got to think, too, you've got your personal things that you got to get together, and you also own a business, so you better have a plan ahead, otherwise you'll be bombarded with so much.
Absolutely. The safety of personnel is the most important thing and paramount in any situation. But then what happens after the fact? When everyone leaves the facility, what happens to the facility itself? There's lots of equipment, lots of investment in your infrastructure, and you have to make sure that you've got a plan, a very specific written plan as to how you're going to deal with that.
And what are some security features, I guess, you suggest business owners get in place in the event they are gone and away from that business for a long time?
Well, I think the first thing to do is to put together some kind of a gap analysis. Take a look at what you've got for a security system today and then how you're going to work with it. I would make a list of personnel, who's going to be on site, who are the last ones off and the first ones to come back, what is the backup plan, phone numbers and so forth and so on. And then taking a look at your infrastructure, what you've got for locks. For instance, if you've got electronic locks and the power goes off, are those locks left on or are they off? Do you know if people can get into your facility or not? So having redundant systems, building a plan to do that is all important. And
that's a really important point, because when you lose power, a lot of your security becomes compromised. So what do you tell businesses in terms of having things that are off-site, and how early do you move things off-site that are really valuable when you take into consideration some of your stuff will be damaged, some of it will be stolen? Well,
that's a great question, and most companies today will take their data and they'll store it off-site. So you may have computers, and all that computer data is being hosted somewhere else, maybe in Dallas in a backup facility or whatever. But for the equipment itself, that investment is also very, very expensive. And the important thing about the plan itself is to identify which pieces of equipment are important, which ones need to be brought off-site, which ones need to be brought to high ground, and so forth.
And you were suggesting that, having video surveillance and being able to monitor your site while, remotely while you're away. Any suggestions other than surveillance?
Well, there are video cameras today, and one of the things you do in your plan is you take a look at your equipment, the locks, the video, what you're doing for recording, what you're doing for live. And many companies have security guards as well, so the security guards and how they manage and monitor those. But video cameras themselves now can operate for days, sometimes weeks, and can host the recording data right on the camera itself. So even though you might not get a live feed if the electricity goes down, you will still be able to review that data, and you will be able to see what happened in your facility while people were away. And given where we live, and all of us having gone through Katrina here on the ground, is it wise for businesses, I guess it depends on if you can afford it, to invest in a boat, a backup facility where you can get gas? Are these things that you advise people as well, given where we live? Well, absolutely. I think all the normal safety requirements are put in place. Like life jackets? Yes, having water, having backup gas, having generators, electric generators, and so forth are all important things. They're all part of the entire safety and security infrastructure plan that you have to put in place. Yeah, whether you're a large business or a small business with a few employees, you suggest everybody's got to have a game plan, just like you have with your family. Just like you have with your family. Safety is first and foremost. There's no question about it. Take care of the people first. But after you do that, what happens to the home, what happens to the business, what happens to the infrastructure, what happens to the equipment, all of that can be taken care of if you have a good plan. It may not necessarily prevent everything from happening, but you can certainly minimize your risk. Ray Cavanagh, thanks so much. Well, thank Security you very expert, much. Some good information.